and Young Adult Podcast.
All right, everybody. Welcome to podcast 162.
Whoa.
And we've got a guest with us, / not so much a guest anymore. He's been on the podcast numerous times.
That's right.
Let's just say we've got a reoccurring host back.
Friend of the show, as they say in the biz.
As they say in showbiz.
You know.
Are we a part of showbiz?
So much experience in showbiz.
Are we in the biz?
I don't know.
I don't know if we are either.
I
Hope
don't
not.
think so, but we're gonna roll with it today.
At what point are we considered in the biz? Is it amount of YouTube subscribers and podcast downloads per week?
I think that's what it is. I think it's once you hit. I'm not sure what the number is.
You're in the plant. Your head's in the plant.
I think it's when you have the
you wanna
silver
scoot the-
YouTube button.
Do you want to scoot the plant? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll just scooch over a little bit.
I'm not in the plant over here.
There we go.
You could probably churn your plant so that the high leaves are on your side and the low
yeah.
leaves are maybe in the back.
That's a good idea.
Yeah? Ah, there you go. See?
That's better.
Wow.
That's better.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Hey, welcome to Showbiz, folks, where we are adjusting things on the fly.
That's right.
So, yeah, once we hit, 1 million subscribers on YouTube, then we're in the biz?
100,000.
100,000?
100,000.
Okay.
100,000.
I'll
That's,
take
when,
it.
that's when they send you the little silver button.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that then.
And we'll probably never be in the biz. Let's do... I'm okay with that, too. You got to choose one Asian snack, Preston.
Okay.
I'm going to choose one. Pastor Aaron's going to choose just one.
That's right.
We'll each taste our own individual snacks, give opinions and descriptions of flavor.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then we've got a real topic today.
Yes. So if you watched last week's episode, it was me and you for like 28 minutes eating random Asian snacks.
Yeah.
We're in the biz.
And so we're not going to do that this time. We still have probably enough snacks to do that, but we're not going to do it this time.
Yeah. We do have enough snacks to last another half an hour, but we're going to choose one. I'm going to just kind of come over here and search.
All right. Pastor Luke is searching if you're listening. He's flipping stuff over.
That one catches my eye because it says Haiti. Or Hai Tai.
Look at it.
Say Haiti or Hai Tai.
It doesn't say Haiti. It
Doesn't say
says
Haiti?
something else.
Oh.
All right.
This
thing I'm
one's just
noticing.
pure Japanese, so I don't know what it's going to say. I'm going to show the camera, though.
This also has no nutrition facts, but it
Yeah,
expires.
look at that on the camera Pastor Luke's pointing it to you right now. Look at that. Whatever
Incredible.
it is. Is that the one you're picking, Pastor Luke?
I don't know.
Because if you aren't going to pick that one, I'll pick that one.
There you go.
I don't know what I want. There's so many
It looks
options.
just like, if I had to guess, I'm guessing this is just seaweed.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so much fun.
Okay, I think I found something here. The texture of this one is really unique that I just grabbed. I'm going to have each of you just squeeze this. Tell me what.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be crunchy.
It's me too. It's soft like
Like a cookie that's
like
not
cookie dough.
Yeah.
It feels like those orange like circus peanuts.
Yes.
Those really weird ones.
This is called a bourbon bomb roll.
Okay. This is in Japanese or whatever language this is. I'm not sure.
It says French pie. And there are no nutrition facts.
Of course not.
So I am...
Oh, this is weird.
The only English on this one is that it's roasted seasoned laver. It's not even flavor. It's the thing. It's spelled wrong.
Now I'm lactose intolerant.
This smells like a sugar cookie. You're lactose
Okay.
intolerant?
I am. I don't know what this snack is going to do to me. But it'll be good.
Oh,
Dude.
mine is literally just seaweed
Dude.
layers.
All right, I'm going to give this bomb roll a taste test.
All right.
Whoa.
This French pie is for the French.
All right. I'm just going to show you on this camera. You probably can't even see how thin this thing is because that's how thin it is. Like I can see through it. I can see the camera through how thin this thing is. Oh, it's so spicy.
Oh, wow.
Spicy?
Yeah.
Wow.
This
Whoa.
is sweet. This is like a gentle lemon roll.
Oh,
This is just flaky. Just flaky bread.
I noticed when you took a bite, it just crumbled all down your shirt. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is good.
that's terrible. I think it's wasabi flavored seaweed,
Wow.
but the wasabi was very, very strong.
I want
have
to try
this.
yours.
Have this cream savor to get the flavor out of your mouth.
Pastor Aaron, can you hand me a leaf?
Yeah, well, I got you. I got so many leaves in here. Yeah, I'll get one that wasn't on the one that I,
I
took
don't
a
think
bite
it's
off.
technically called a leaf, but it's like a seaweed pressed.
Whatever that is.
I mean, that smells good.
Go ahead.
Like,
take a bite.
I love how your response is like, like you know something that I don't know right now. Go ahead.
Go ahead, take a bite.
It smells great.
I know. I smelled it. I said, huh, that smells pretty good.
All right, I'm going to ASMR this into the microphone. You ready?
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Wow.
What the? What the? Who the? My goodness. Ooh, I like it.
You
a
like
lot.
it?
Yes.
I did not like it.
Oh my gosh, I got to go in for the rest. Wow. That's right up there with my favorite we've had.
Okay. Wow. It's okay. Do you like that horseradishy
Yes.
spice wasabi?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not a big horseradish guy. I don't really like it. And so I will, like, if I'm eating sushi, like, I'll add a little bit of the wasabi, but not a lot. And that just tasted exactly like
Wasabi. I love horseradish and I love wasabi. And I love it so much that I purposefully put too much on my sushi so that it just wrecks my nose. That
Yeah.
zing you get
Oh, yeah.
somewhere up in like the ear, nose, and throat. Kind of like, yeah. I absolutely love that burn.
Okay.
And
I don't. So
Okay,
that
but-
snack was like, it definitely had that flavor. So if you like that flavor, like Pastor Luke, you might love that seaweed snack.
I liked it a lot. A lot. All right, so we obviously have more snacks here. We're not going to get through them all. The thing about this Asian snack box, Pastor Aaron, is I'm done with the Asian snack box.
Yeah. After 30 minutes of taste testing Asian snack box,
Yep.
I'm done with it.
And I'm ready for a new snack box.
American snack box. Just all your favorites.
All your favorite snacks of all your favorite diabetic snacks wrapped up into one box.
That's right.
Yes, but I know for a fact that there were other snack boxes, and Kayla starts with the Asian one.
That's right.
So there's just possibly more snack box adventures to come, right?
Possibly. Absolutely.
All right.
Let us know in the comments if
And-
that's something you want.
I find it interesting after doing the taste testing of this that maybe my favorite one is your least favorite one.
Yeah.
How interesting
That's
is
so
that?
interesting. And one of the things that you liked, but you thought was a little bit too. This is funny to me. So last week, go back and watch last week. You thought that the spicy ramen was a little too spicy. I loved the spicy ramen, and as soon as we were done recording, I ate the whole rest of my bowl. But that I was like, that's terrible. I don't like how spicy it is at all. And you ate the entire thing, and I only took one bite because I thought it was bad. So,
I will probably finish that after this podcast is over.
all right, go for it.
Yeah, I might. So let's get into our real the meat of the podcast.
Let's get into the meat. We're done with seaweed snacks. Let's get into the meat.
Yeah. What did you say we were going to title this podcast again?
I think I said what makes a terrible leader.
Yeah.
Or how to be a terrible
How
leader.
to be a terrible leader.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it was. How to be a terrible leader.
When you said that title, I thought, oh, I like that title a lot.
Yeah.
And I hope everybody else does too. But how to be a terrible leader is what we're going to talk about today on the podcast.
That's right.
And there is this mistake that many leaders make.
Yeah.
And we were discussing your initial mistake that you made as soon as you came on staff.
I did, yeah.
And I didn't know this. I did
Yeah.
not know this. This was information to me at lunch. I thought that was a pretty good story you told. I would have you tell it again too. But I too, as a leader, had to readjust at some point in my pastoral career. And you know what the interesting thing is, Pastor Aaron? When I readjusted, a lot of people were mad at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people were mad at me. I'll tell that story.
Okay.
And you can tell me whose side you're on.
Okay.
My side or
The other people's side?
yeah. Are you with me or are you mad at me?
All right.
All right.
We can do
Sounds
it.
good. But what we want to talk about today is something that actually does make a terrible leader is being too busy.
Yes. Doing too much.
Yep. Doing too much. And we must give credit where credit is due. This was a topic of discussion that was spurred because of Craig Rochelle podcast
Yes.
that I did not hear personally,
Yeah.
but I ended up reading.
Right.
So I don't know exactly how this works, but somebody on Craig Rochelle's staff turns his podcasts into blogs that you can read. Is that how it works, you think?
I'm sure it's like a little like outline system, and it's probably goes along with the show notes.
Yeah,
Things like
something
that.
like that.
Regardless of how they do it. It was a paper version.
I read the show notes.
Yeah.
Did you guys listen to the podcast?
I
or
did not
just-
listen to the
All right,
podcast.
so none of us have listened to the podcast. Okay, but we all did read the leadership notes based off the podcast, and one of his points in there was about how many leaders make the mistake of being too busy.
Yeah.
And I think it struck a chord with each of us because there have been seasons of life where we've been too busy. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about it is we all, I think, were very connected during these seasons. So I remember when you first came on staff.
Yeah.
I remember not Pastor Preston, but maybe one day, right?
Someday.
All right, praise the Lord. Preston, I remember when you were in an extremely busy season. Mm-hmm. And I remember kind of how you were emotionally, mentally, and physically handling that season. I felt sorry for you.
Yeah. It was stressful.
Yes.
I was tired.
Yeah.
I had no energy.
Yeah. And that is a terrible way to live your life for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I, too, have had busy seasons, especially in the ministry.
Yeah.
But Pastor Aaron, share your story.
Yeah, so this was really interesting looking back at it now. But right when I got hired, I don't even think I was full-time yet. I think I was part-time. And so I'm only in the office actually like 2 days a week. And then I'm working another job the other 2 days a week. I'm also here serving, every Tuesday and Wednesday because we had Tuesday night service back then. I was also serving Sunday in some capacity. And the days that I was here, I had been an IMA student, an intern, for 2 years before I got hired part-time. And so the 2 days a week that I was here, I kept doing all the same stuff I did when I was an intern.
Okay.
And
even though we had interns.
even though there was interns, that I was just like, I'm going to go help the interns do all this stuff. And I did that for a little bit. And I remember both Pastor Ben had mentioned something to it about me. But
What did he say?
I just remember him being like, hey, you need to focus on, your stuff. It's like, I think it's great that you're helping them, but you really got to focus on your job that you're here to do first. But then I remember Pastor Evan watched me do it for longer because I didn't really listen to Pastor Ben for some reason. And
He
This guy
probably
was
said
going
it.
He was going to eat Asian snacks in Japan. We were like, this guy's just ridiculous.
Yeah. But he probably said it in a way where it was like the Ben way, which
Yeah.
is like funny, polite, but memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it happening, but then I remember Pastor Evan a few months later where I didn't stop doing that. And he came up and actually kind of came into my office one day and was like, hey, you need to stop.
Huh.
And was a little more direct with it. And I was like, I'm just helping him out.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, but you're not doing your work. Like, it's getting done, but you could be doing better. And you need to learn that now that you're on staff, even though it's part-time, like he's like, you only have 2 days in the office here. You got to make the most of that time. You got to focus on the things that are really important. That job is going to get done without you. They don't need you out there helping to do that. But, writing your Sunday morning message, you need to do that, or whatever my task was at the time. And that second time that it was kind of brought up to me from Pastor Evan, I realized that, you know what? Maybe he's right. And maybe Ben was right too. And I need to shift and not do everything. Because I was just trying to do everything that I had always done when I was an intern for 2 years, plus my part-time job, and all the tasks that I was given here. and I probably wasn't really doing anything very great. I was just getting a lot of stuff done.
Now, can I take a guess as to why you were doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can say yes or no. It's fine with me. But my guess is you were maybe having a difficult time taking on the new role and placing yourself above the interns.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it.
Okay.
I think,
and that's natural.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I had been in that role obviously for 2 years, and
Did you feel a little guilty maybe that
a little bit, yeah. And it was hard to like be like, oh yeah, I'm on staff. So especially when there was like, hey, we got to do, set up this big game or something on stage, which I've done.
Yeah.
When I was an intern, it was just us interns doing that for 2 years.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was like, oh, I'm going to go help them. And would do that stuff. So I don't.
Nobody was helping you.
Yeah, Pastor Ben, Pastor Evan, you, Pastor Luke, we're never like, oh, let me go in. Like, it was a task that we could do as interns. We didn't need a pastor to help us set up a game,
Maybe like the first 1 or 2 times.
Yeah,
But then after that, trust you to do it. I'll come back and check your work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but for some reason, I was like, oh, we're setting up King of the Hill. Let me go help them the whole time.
The whole time.
And I didn't need to be doing that,
Yeah.
So
It's what you knew, though.
yeah, it is. It's what I knew how to do. And
You do it well too. That's the other part of the trouble of not doing it is it's actually something you know how to do well.
Right.
And I'll just put my hand to the work. I know how to do well. I can get it done. I'm proud of myself for doing it.
Yeah. Maybe interns will like me more because I'm helping them out.
Right.
You
know?
Maybe. Yeah. All those things were probably just kind of that subconscious thought, and didn't even. It took somebody else who had been leading longer than me, had been in that position longer than me, to kind of come and talk to me and say, hey, like, that's not bad work, but that's also not why you're on staff. There's tasks that you were hired to do, and you need to focus on doing those things. And let them do that stuff because they obviously they can do that. It's part of the reason why they're here.
Yeah.
So it did. It took Pastor Ben and then Pastor Evan after him coming and talking to me and say, hey, this is what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just doing too much.
We all been there. I promise.
Yeah.
We've all felt that too. That tension. We've all felt that. What about you, Preston? I mean, I can guess your busy season that you're going to talk about, but I could be wrong.
What are you thinking?
When you were an intern and in school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I live a busy life, and I feel like it's slowed down since I got married.
Good.
So praise God for that. I mean,
Yeah,
some
because
people,
you got to give got to give time to your new wife.
So finally, I feel like I've slowed down. But I remember when I was an intern, I was here, Sunday through Thursday in the mornings, or up until 4 or 3, depending on the day.
Yeah.
And then
In the afternoon, not in the morning, not till 3 or 4 in the morning.
no, I'm sorry.
I know, but I thought people out there might be thinking he's there till 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
What kind of church is this?
Child labor laws. No,
Just 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Yeah, sorry. 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Then on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, I would go from church here, and I would go to my job at the movie theater, and I'd work 5 p.m. to 1 a.m.
Oh.
And then I'd get up the next day and do it. And then I was also...
Church on Wednesday nights.
Yep, there was church on Wednesday nights. And then I was also in college full time.
Liberty University.
University, yeah. And so I would fit my school time in whenever I could. So whether that be in between my 4 o'clock end day here and 5 o'clock before I go to the theater, which, I mean, I got to leave here at like 4:40. It takes me like 15 minutes to get ready. So I had like 20 minutes. So then I would cram just my school on Friday mornings and Saturday mornings and Sunday nights.
Oh.
And my mistake was, my freshman year of college, I was like, oh, I got this. I had confidence in myself. And I had like, I think 20 credits.
What?
My first semester.
20 credits?
Yeah.
Your first semester?
Because I was like, I'm gonna graduate early. I'm gonna go fast, and I had 20 credits my first college semester. Whoo! I was dumb. Don't do that.
Were you depressed?
I don't think I was depressed. I was just very in like, just kind of go mode all the time, and
It helped that you were single, though, right?
oh yeah, 100%. But I also realized, if you go to bed at 1 a.m. every day,
Yeah.
that's a miserable life, and you don't even realize it until you have a regular sleep schedule.
Yeah.
But for years, I worked the night shift, and so I would just I would get home at like 1:30.
But you can't go right to bed.
No.
No.
And I'd wake up at like 9-ish or whenever. Well, not IMA days, but other days I would wake up at like, on the weekends, wake up at 9 or 10 or 10:30, and I'd just be so tired and just, you just feel, I just felt so awful, and I didn't realize it until I got a normal sleep schedule. I didn't realize how terrible I felt all the time. I was like a zombie.
Yes.
And I had no idea. I just thought this was life.
Just thought this is what 21 feels like.
Yeah, and I started going to bed at 10 p.m. and waking up at 7, and I'm like, I'm alive again.
Like a preteen Swedish
I
boy.
know, I'm a new man. I think I could run a marathon right now.
Oh my gosh.
That was certainly a busy season, but the Lord helped me through it. I think
Yeah.
I definitely did too much. I would not recommend anybody do that, but the Lord helped me through it, gave me the strength to do it. I graduated early like I wanted to, and I don't know, the Lord was just, I couldn't have done it without the grace of God and His help, because miserable.
I don't know how you did it.
I don't know either. I look back at that young 19, 20-year-old boy, just want to smack him. Like, dude, what are you doing? Taking so long, dude. Or, I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
It was crazy.
Man, that is crazy. Well, we had a big ministry shift here. When did I shut down Momentum?
I was on staff.
What
when you
year
did
was it?
So maybe 2019.
It was
Okay.
2019 because I went to the final Momentum service they had. It was a Christmas party.
Yeah.
And I wasn't graduated high school yet.
Okay.
But I went anyway because it was the last one.
Okay.
And I broke the rule.
Nobody cares. Break the rules, not the law. That's
Yeah.
what I say.
Amen. I guess.
Actually, we had a little podcast about that one time.
We did.
Okay, so yeah, in 2019, I started Momentum in 2009. And so for 10 years, I was leading the ministry, and it became to the point where I was, for a 5-year window, I was leading the young adults ministry and I was the youth pastor at the same time for 5 years. And during those 5 years, we had a Tuesday night service for young adults and Wednesday night service for the youth.
Yeah.
And both ministries were growing and active, and a lot of young adults and a lot of teens, and managing volunteers for 2 ministries.
Oof.
And that was for a 5-year window that I was both. And then thank God, Ben became the youth pastor over Ignited.
Yeah.
And that helped quite a bit. But we, for 10 years almost, did Tuesday night and Wednesday night back to back.
Yeah.
And preaching, extremely active. My wife was most of the time leading worship both nights.
Man.
And then we started having kids.
Yeah.
And we're talking like
I'm getting tired just thinking about it.
yeah, we're getting exhausted. And so in 2019, I felt the Lord speak to me about a ministry shift. And so I obeyed the Lord, and we changed up the way that our young adults ministry works. And so we went to more of a small group based ministry, and then we just gather seasonally 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And I wanted the young adults to start serving in Kids in the Rock and Ignited and all over the Maine, and just being a part of the church family and blah, 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 and doing all that. And so that's what we're doing now. We've been doing it since 2019. But you guys, I will still have people still today mad at me.
Oh, okay.
And I run into people all the time who are still mad at me that I did this, I did this.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it doesn't matter how many times I tell people I couldn't do it any longer. I couldn't physically.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't even care about me.
So I
They're
figured
just like, I want it. I want it.
Yeah, I figured this is what you were going to talk about is that season of just doing too much. And so I had just recently come on staff. I think I maybe came on staff, I don't know if it was 2018.
Yeah.
Maybe I think I came on part-time.
Yeah, 2018. Yep.
And
So you were doing back-to-back nights for a couple years.
for a couple of years. And I remember you had me preach at the very last Momentum service. It was the only Momentum I've ever preached at.
Okay.
And you had me preach at, and I talked about the new way of how we were going to do ministry. And it was funny because it wasn't even my idea, but I was on board with it, and I thought it was going to be a great shift, and I think it has been. But people were mad at me because I was the one that preached at the last service.
People were mad at you?
People were mad at me, and I just was like, hey, this is a great idea. I don't know what you're so mad about. But still today, like I'll talk with other young adults who are a part of, their church, but they would just come on Tuesdays or something like that.
Yeah.
And they'll be upset that we don't do Tuesday night service anymore.
Yeah.
But I, every single time, have defended that decision and been like, no, the church is so much healthier because of it.
Yeah.
There's young adults serving in Kids on the Rock. There's young adults serving on Sunday morning. There's young adults serving in Ignited.
Yeah, it's all young adults in Ignited now.
Pouring into teenage, and
in 2019, there was 0 young adults in Ignited.
Right. And I'm like, that's so much healthier for the church.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even my decision. I wasn't the one that made it. I was on staff. I was just part-time. But yeah, even like me, I wasn't, like I said, it wasn't even my ministry. But I'll still have people come up and be mad at me about it.
Yeah.
But I defend it every single time.
And it's funny because I'll tell people the reasons behind doing it is because I couldn't physically do it anymore.
Yeah.
And I had 3 kids, and it just wasn't even, it's not even possible. I can't do it. The church can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it anymore. And we did it as long as we could. And they'll just say, I hate you.
Every time we post an ad for a CY&YA event on Facebook, there's always one comment.
Really?
Yeah, about like, oh, I miss Momentum, or how do I come to this event when we don't meet every week anymore? Or like just something along those lines.
Yeah.
Every time.
And it's interesting because I've realized that with this whole thing, very few people really care about you.
Right.
They just want what they want.
Yeah.
And I find that as a leader interesting.
And I agree. And I want to just point something out really quick is that we're titling this podcast, How to Be a Terrible Leader.
Yeah.
If you want to be a terrible leader, do that. Don't really care about people and just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Or you could kind of do the flip side, just give the people whatever they want. But if you want to be a good leader, the Bible talks about how we are to be, especially as pastors, but even as husbands, fathers, employers, employees, people in our schools. We're supposed to be shepherding people like Jesus shepherded, or was a shepherd to us, as John 10. But part of that was he genuinely cared about people and cared about their longevity in doing ministry. He cared about their eternity. He cared about making sure that he built something. Like if you look at how Jesus led the disciples, he built something that would last after he left. And that doesn't happen if you just give everybody what they want, or if you just do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to actually care about the people, and you have to make decisions that are based on, is this sustainable in the long run? And Pastor Tim even talked about this when we were talking in our staff meeting. He talked about how can be seasons where you might have to run harder. I've never run a marathon. It sounds like a terrible idea to me.
Me too. I did a half marathon one time. Was not inspired to do the full after that. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. But I've heard that a lot of times, there's like, sometimes you just kind of get a boost and you're running, and then it kind of like that pace fluctuates. But you have to maintain if you just try to sprint the whole way, you're never going to make it.
Don't tell a Kenyan that. He'll prove you wrong.
But I can't make it anyway. I probably couldn't make it
They
if I walked.
seriously do sprint those marathons. It's unbelievable.
If you like watching the Olympics and stuff, those
It's
teams,
crazy.
it's insane.
They're running like 5-minute miles or 6-minute miles or something.
That's insane. It's so crazy.
Anyway, I got us off topic.
But you have to create a pace that's sustainable over the long run if you want to make a long-term impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think that can be hard especially as a young leader. This is our youth and young adult podcast, so we probably got a lot of young leaders, and especially when you're young, you're advantageous, you're full of vision, you want to conquer, you want to do, and that's great. And I think that God gives you that passion, especially as a young person, but it also has to be sustainable.
Yeah.
You know, you have to move forward with something that's going to last more than 6 months.
Yeah.
It's going to last more than your 1 year of being in high school, you know, or whatever.
No, you're really onto something there. We can kind of finish with this too, because it's crazy how quickly it went with 3 people.
Wow, yeah, that went so fast.
I know.
My bad.
I want to. I do want to
good.
finish with this statement. It's exactly what you just said, Preston. I'm just going to repeat what you said because I think it was really powerful, and I want to pause on it for just a moment. Which is, if you're doing ministry, you need to be intentional about creating ministry that can last for a lifetime.
Yeah, come on.
It does no good to do something that you feel like you can only physically do for like 2 years, 5 years.
Yeah,
You cannot. You can't. That's unfair to the people.
yeah,
And maybe that's what we did, which was essentially that we did something. When you do it when you're in your 20s, you're like, "Whoa, this is amazing," and then
Right.
10 years later, you're like, "I'm gonna die."
right.
And that's what happened. And unfortunately, people didn't care about how many times I told them, "I'm going to die.
Yeah,
I'm going to die." They just said, "Don't be so selfish." I don't know, but I'm going to die. Well, they'll be. I want to come. I want to come on Tuesday nights. So I didn't know what to do, but I felt the Lord lead me in this. But anyway, we all have our stories, right?
Yeah.
We all have our stories.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I will say this: I think the whole staff is happy we don't do back-to-back nights anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never experienced it, but I could say
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. Back-to-back nights. Anyway, all right. It's been great to be with you, audience.
It's been a good podcast. I like it.
Yeah, this was good. This was how do you describe this one? Preston, give it a shot.
How would I describe it?
You have to compare the mood, the vibe, the flavor of this podcast to a meal. Pastor Aaron's really good at it.
Well, I can tell you something. Preston's really bad at it. I got nothing.
All right, Pastor Aaron, what do you got? What do you think this podcast felt like?
All right, I think it felt like, man. All right, so there's a salad that you get from Highland House, and it's the Southern fried chicken salad, and it's really good because it's got all the different flavors. It's really fresh.
Yeah.
But then you get the meat on top, that fried chicken that's really good.
So it's hearty.
It's really hearty too. It's like fresh but hearty, which is a weird combination.
No, it's like it'll stick to your ribs even though it's real fresh.
Yeah, so that's kind of what this was like. It was like real fresh, and we got the snacks. We bring Preston in. He's got a good vibe. But then we got some hearty stuff in there too.
What do you think about that?
It feels like a cop-out because we went to Highland House yesterday for lunch.
Oh, whoa, you're so, wow.
I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm being controversial. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'll take it because I don't have any other answer.
All right, I thought it was great.
Yeah, that is exactly what this podcast felt like. What kind of salad from Highland House?
It's the Southern fried chicken salad.
Southern fried chicken salad.
There you go.
Catch you on the next one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Youth and Young Adult Podcast. Youth and Young Adult Podcast. Youth and Young Adult Podcast.